7 o'clock p.m. We do have quite a few that are signed up to speak tonight, so that we can all hear everybody, I would appreciate that everyone kind of keeps quiet so we can hear what everyone has to say. I will open it up to those that have signed up, and then if anyone wishes to speak after, they may do so also. And after everyone speaks, I will open it up to the fellow council members if they would like to say something. So, as I call your name, please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record, and limit your time to speak for 3 minutes. And I'll be up front. I'll do the best I can with your names, but I'm trying to read sometimes people's scribbles. So, first is Julia Diaz.
I'm Julia Diaz from 407 Middle Road in Farmington, and I'm here for 683 Osgood Avenue, a change of,
Variance.
go ahead.
My sister invested in that store, and that's like her future retirement. And to change the variance from commercial to residential, it's going to be a burden on her, and it's going to cost her monetary value loss, for her future. It's her retirement. Right now, she can't build a house or anything on it because it's been like a garage for many, many years, and it was converted into a church. There's a minister now, and if you change it from from commercial to residential, if the minister who has cancer right now dies, she doesn't know how to make money off that or pay the taxes. It'll be a hardship for her economically. She's a retired teacher, and she's given her life to the children for so many years. She took her 401k to pay the taxes on that building because they were really expensive. It's like over $12,000 a year. And so she doesn't have any retirement anymore because of that. And just to exchange it, like I said, from commercial to residential would be a hardship, because if she wants to open up a store or rent it as a store like it used to be in the past, she won't be able to. Or if she sells the building, she's going to get a lot less than if it was a commercial building.
Thank you. For the record, because you also spoke your name?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Nareda Diaz.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Next is Sandra Tadano.
Hi, my name is Sandra Tadano. I live at 294 South Street in Hartford, Connecticut. I'm a close family friend of Julia Diaz, and I would like to just vouch for what Nareda said. It would be an economic hardship for Julia and her family if the building was turned from commercial to residential, and that's all I have to say. Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Next is Alberto Duarte.
Don't mind my voice. Hi, my name is Alberto Duarte, and I reside at 119 Willow Street in New Britain, Connecticut. Okay, I felt like I'm their family because I wanted to cry so bad that it was even funny. I had tears, yes. Does the New Britain Police Department need to be held accountable? Yes, they do. Not all of the police officers in New Britain are all that bad. And that's my opinion, speaking for myself. Okay? Now, I just copied something from downstairs. Mayor Stewart presents Healthy Home Program for Lead Hazard Control, making every house safe for children. All right? What about the homeless people? Claims that, we don't have any room anywhere. Friendship Center, you can't get in. Salvation Army, can't get in. Okay? What's up with that story? Because no one has an answer, or they want to turn a blind eye to it. Because a minority gets killed, you guys are all over it. Because why? It's one of your own. Okay? Do you guys care about the poor people, the homeless people? Here's another fact. The New Britain schools has the lowest grade in the state of Connecticut. Why is that? No one addresses it. Now we have the blotter for the New Britain Police Department. Aaron Stewart shut that down. Police Department shut it down. Why? Because they want to have New Britain like one of the best cities in the state. I've been here for freaking 56 years, okay? I've seen a lot going on. Sure, there's a little change, but everyone keeps talking about asking the same questions. Those questions go unanswered. Like my father used to say, in one ear and out the other. Okay? But no one has an answer. Why? You just want to sidestep it. If a white person was to get killed, you guys would be all over that like white on rice. All right? If I get caught speeding and I kill somebody by accident, you ready for the Macarena? I'm going to jail. No second thought. Then if we resist, we're going to get our asses kicked. For what?
Just to be clear, and Alicia Strong had mentioned that before, but there is no back and forth at this point, so if you ask questions of us, we are not going to answer, but we will, as a council members, allow to address you after the public participation is over. So if you ask questions, we're not going to engage, okay? So, for clarity. Christiana Smith? Hold on one second, unless you know how to turn the mic.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Christiana Smith. I live at 70 Harding Street. I haven't been here for a minute. My family's been making a Pick What You Need garden over on Harding Street. I know that the New Britain Police Department is irresponsible because on Mother's Day, they played, what's it called, quick draw with their guns while closing off the New Britain Road. I had to go and talk to 2 police officers to stop unclipping their weapons and drawing them in front of my little one. Hey, baby, 1 second, okay? No, it's not gonna be your turn right now. And just the other day, my little one and I were walking home, and a police officer, there's a little spot that they like to do a speed trap, and they rushed in the center of the road seconds after we had hit the sidewalk, like 60 miles per hour, just to catch somebody else who had been speeding maybe 40. It is terrifying to be a parent and have to go to a police officer and say, hey, don't play with that gun in front of my kid. So it's not surprising to me that somebody was hit by a car, but what is surprising to me is that the same Team Stewart who took less than a week, this body took less than a week to respond when teenagers did a hit and run, has said nothing to this family. The same Team Stewart that had a pretty complex conversation about whether or not we should lock up kids for longer, has had no conversation around what accountability really looks like. And leadership is accountability. That's what I'm teaching my little one. That's really all I have to say. This one needs to say something, and then we're going to go to bed. Here, baby, what do you want to say?
Thank you.
Wait.
Hi, I'm 5 years old and my name is Ro.
Thanks, baby.
Hi. Diana Martinez?
Hi, my name is Diana Martinez. I live at 143 Prospect Street in Middletown, Connecticut. I'm here today alongside Maribel, her family, her community, and people invested in justice to echo their demands for action, transparency, and accountability for the murder of Catherine Colon. We visited where Catherine was killed today. We saw the place her 40-year-old body met an untimely end. We met at a church there across from a bank next to a temple. This is a place where people live, work, and worship. For an employee of this city to be so reckless as to speed down that street and kill Catherine is unconscionable. That the leadership of the city couldn't even muster the courage for a condolence call to the family of someone who has birthed entire generations of New Britain citizens is inexcusable. 2 years ago, after a hit and run that ended someone's life, the city's mayor made a statement within hours. She called for harsher sentences for youth in less than a week. Catherine lay dead on the street for 12 hours before her loved ones were notified. She's been dead for over a month, and her family is told to wait. The officer who killed her is still at work while the very fabric of her family is torn. If a city employee was responsible for your mother, your sister, your daughter's death, if they ran a 1,000-pound vehicle over her body, didn't tell you she was dead for half a day, what would you expect? What would you demand? We want that for Catherine, too. You are all asking the people in this room to vote for you in 13 days. They know that if people they love are killed by your staff, you won't care enough to push for expediency, that you won't even call. Tell them why you deserve another term. Thank you.
Nathan Simpson?
Good evening, Council. My name is Nathan Simpson, 185 Brook Street. I believe that I and each of us gathered here today in this room are here to demand accountable public safety mechanisms following the death of Catherine Colon at the hands and wheels of New Britain Police Department. A little background, Catherine is the mother of a personal friend of mine, a fighter, and she has blessed us with the community you see before us tonight. I am shocked to see the contrast in response from our city hall, from our mayor and her so-called team steward. In July of 2021, a white jogger was struck and killed by youth of color operating a vehicle. The mayor promptly responded with rhetoric which I believe sums up to lock them up. Had any one of us been in the driver position and killed Catherine Colon, we would be in a jail cell waiting for our day of justice. That's right. It has been 36 days since the killing of Catherine, and the family has gotten no clarity, no answers, no justice. And it has been 36 days, and all the city of New Britain has to show for it is a dead mother and a cop who is still on the job. I am here to support the family of Catherine Colon to demand that our city do the following. 1, hold this officer accountable, the same as any one of us. They want to act like part of this community, they need the rules of this community. 2, adopt a civilian review board, which many of you shut down a couple years ago. Had we had that safety mechanism, our officers would feel comfortable driving the speed limit. And 3, honor the city's commitment to being a pedestrian-friendly haven. It's in our future that our pedestrians aren't struck and killed in the streets. I think this is a really good time to start honoring that. We brag about our complete streets, and yet here we are. And one last thing, it's election season. A lot of you are on the ballot, myself included actually. Full transparency, I'm running for city council, but that doesn't cause me to neglect the needs of my community, right? And your silence is reflective of that. The mayor's silence is reflective of that. And so when you cast your ballots on November 7th, keep in mind that if you don't offer a response at least by election day, this tells the community, whether any of us like it or not, that you are prioritizing re-election over our safety. And nobody in this room can stand for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Alicia Strong?
It's hard coming up here.
Name and address.
Alicia Strong, 2017 Corbin Ave. It's hard coming up here. Most of you have seen me up here. I talk at council meetings year after year. Many of you were here when we were fighting for the Police Accountability Board, and many of you were part of the people who shut that down and made it not happen. I've come here many times for budget season. many of you have refused to give adequate funds to our education system or adequate funds to help people who are homeless here in this town. But every single year, NBPD gets an increase. Every single year, they have their overtime that they can do while people in the education system are struggling, while people in housing are struggling. I say this because I've played this game before. I've been here before. I know how it goes. We're going to finish, and then you're going to say, we have to wait for the investigation to finish. We can't say anything till the investigation finishes. I know the lines. But this is the reality. Last week, an officer-involved shooting killed a man in Hartford. The same day, the mayor released an image of what happened. So it's not enough to say that legally you can't talk, you can't comment about it, you can't say anything. It's not an excuse. And for so long, members of this council have been ignoring what happens with NBPD. NBPD has killed a young man, and we justified it. NBPD has beat somebody up in the middle of the street. Nothing. All you have to say is good things. They're great. They do community policing. They don't hurt anybody. But yet the reality is different. And you can ask people and they can tell you. It's time to stop living this lie. It's time to stop living in this world where we just repeat the same lie and hope that people believe it. It's time for you to look at the data and look at the facts. And it's very concerning to me that a few months ago, this council decided to get rid of the police blotter. If I remember correctly, somebody said, oh, they can just Freedom of Information Act the information. It's super easy. I want to let this council know that I have Freedom of Information Act all of the arrests from the time when the police blotter was finished. I've gotten maybe one document. They told me they're understaffed. They charged me about $200 so far. That is the process that I have to go through because this council has decided to brush everything this police department does under the rug. So enough is enough. Will you stand up? Will you say something? I hope that everybody here has a comment at the end. I hope you don't do what you sometimes do and not say anything. Thank you.
Thank you. Gail Connelly. You heard me? Gail Connelly? Oh, there she is.
Thank you. Gail Connelly, 2200 Stanley Street. Good evening. A lot of empty chairs in here tonight. I'm really here to, probably not good public comment right now, but to thank you for supporting, somewhat supporting education, I should say. Right? Right? Because they do have to fund us, right? I've had the pleasure of working with some of you for 8 years, some just 2, while I've been on the board. Alderwoman Costa, who's not here, I do appreciate the hours of conversations that we've had. I appreciate you listening to me, and I hope that you listen to the next board about funding education properly. Right? It's time. We have to do it. We're losing 174 more staff next year. That's the projection. 174. Right? As far as the agenda tonight, I really did come to say my farewell, but as far as the agenda tonight, I've paid closer attention to what's going on with zoning. And during last night's meeting, there were others who voiced their concerns over the proposed zoning changes. During the presentations, Mr. Benjamin said, it's state statute, we have to change these. But in the petition, there's nothing referencing state statute. I don't know how you can make a vote, a conscious vote, intelligent vote, on something that you really don't understand. And people in the city don't understand how to fight it or stand up for it. I think you should table all of those zoning changes until you fully understand the impact. We just had somebody come up and say, you're going to ruin her retirement if you change the zoning. And then let's talk about the audit a little bit. The report returned to council tonight says that part of the reason why the city they're not in compliance is due to staffing shortages. What? Do you know that there's staffing shortages for the last probably 8 years? The audit has come back and said, we have poor compliance. That's a problem. There's also a report returned back under 36259, requesting the balance in the rainy day funds and ARPA. The report states that Planning and Development Department is responsible for those dollars. How? How do your finance department not know what's in that fund and how it's going to be used? That's a problem. Maybe that's why we have issues with compliance. Every board meeting, I know the fund balance of every single account. Every single account. Does the city council know where we are financially? You don't have, I know you can't answer me, but I'm just curious if you know, because 2018, we were over $8 million. How are we recovering from that? Are we still trying to recover from that? These are the things that keep me up at night. These folks out here, they keep me up at night. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to do the best. Beryl lives at 48 Audubon Street. Oh, Basil, I'm sorry. It was hard to read, sorry.
Good afternoon. My name is Basil Green. I'm at 48 Audubon Street. Most of you guys already know who I am. I'm here to support the Cologne family. And I just have a couple questions for you guys, right? When you won your seat through election, you sat there and you took an oath. Who did you take an oath to be accountable to, right? Is it the mayor, is it the police chief, or is it the constituents, right? And I would ask to say, the mayor's not here, but I would ask for the same thing, right? Who is she accountable to, right? Is she accountable to the police chief or the people that are sitting here? Everyone's saying you guys need an answer. I think the family already has their answer. It's been 36 days, you haven't said a thing. Saying something now doesn't mean a thing. If they're here forcing you to say it, saying it now does not mean a thing. You've already showed how much you care about the constituents in the city, right? A lot of you guys have been sitting here for over almost a decade now, right? And haven't done a damn thing in the city, right? And you continue to win because you guys like to control the narrative, right? You block people on social media. You're quick to respond on social media, but haven't responded to the family. A lot of you guys are cowards. You are cowards. You talk on social media, and when it comes to doing the hard work and actually standing up for the rights of the people, you're silent. And it's been like that forever. The mayor is very controlling with the narrative. They don't want to say anything because they don't want to say the wrong thing, right? We have dash cam video. It was right in front of the bank. The bank has cameras. At least, if you're not going to put it out to the public, at least give the family the decency to see it and know what happened to their family member, right? The community, we don't need to see it, right? We'll see it later on. We'll know what happened. But at least give the family the decency to know what happened to their family member. You guys are cowards. You should have spoke up months ago, and you haven't. So doing it now doesn't mean a thing. This is to you guys, right? Emotions are running very high today. When the emotions subside, right, you guys know what to do, right? When November comes, you've already seen it. This is what they're going to give you. Right? So if you guys want it to continue, then vote for them. If you want change, you want to see something different and want answers later on in life, then get them out of here.
Tyrone Squires, did I say that right? Lives on 344 Allen Street. Tyrone Squires lives at 344 Allen Street. Okay. Is it Cameron Kessler? Lives at, I'm sorry.
I'm Cameron Kessler. I live at 73 Imlay Street in Hartford. Last month, not 3 blocks from my house, an officer was tragically struck and killed by a speeding car. Within 2 weeks, the entire community, y'all sitting here, we know every single thing about what happened that day. And last week, also in my neighborhood, there was an officer-involved shooting, and within the day, Mayor Bronin had not only released the statement, but had released photos from the event. I saw them on Twitter. Sure y'all did too. However, 36 days ago, Catherine Cologne was murdered by a New Britain police officer while she was crossing the street. 36 days later, we still have no information. We've been told it might take up to 6 months to know anything more, and I wanted to ask you why, but honestly, we know why. Because if there had been no wrongdoing, we would have information about this incident. We would have seen the dash cam footage. We would see that it happened across the street from a bank. Banks have security cameras. We would have this information. So if we have no information, we know what happened. We know that there was wrongdoing. And instead, we're being told that it might take up to 6 months to hear anything. And meanwhile, the officer who struck and murdered my friend's mom is still receiving payment, is still clocking in and receiving our tax dollars. The mayor hasn't even deigned to reach out to the family to express her condolences when a beloved community member was murdered by her employees. I mean, Catherine Cologne's life mattered, and even if you guys sitting up there, even if Aaron Stewart, and even if New Britain Police clearly don't think so, we think so. We're here today to demand justice for her death, and in the meantime, to demand answers. Thank you.
Thank you, Ariana. Lives on Hamilton Street. Ariana? Oh, okay. I got it. Welcome.
Hi there, my name is Ariana Maloku. My address is 21 Hamilton Street, New Britain, Connecticut. I'm 31 years old, and I've been a lifelong resident of New Britain. I grew up here like many of the people here. My family grew up here. My best friends grew up here. So I am proudly a product and a member of this community. Funny enough, I left New Britain at one point. I graduated college, I got a job, and I wanted to see what else was out there. But I was only gone for 2 years because I decided to come right back. And that is how much I care about this community and these people. I don't want to simply talk about myself, so I want to bring up 2 stories that have led me here today to support Maribel and the family of Catherine Cologne. When I heard of this heinous travesty, I immediately shared the news with my closest friends, the friends that I talked about earlier, many of which still live right here in New Britain. They are paying tax citizens. Imagine my shock when someone responded to the group chat saying that they were already well aware of what happened and that they had been grieving right alongside the family. Turns out that my best friend grew up with this beautiful family. My friend's sister was very good friends with Catherine. The families grew up together in the same neighborhood in New Britain. Rewind earlier that day, I reach out to a coworker about an event that was supposed to happen at work that was canceled at the last minute. This was due to the event facilitator's connection also to this beautiful family. I come today and I run into a woman that I consider my aunt, that I personally grew up with. My point being, it could be your aunt. It could be your coworker, your sister, your grandmother, your mother. Do you not care about your family? Imagine how this family is feeling. If we are understanding something, then tell us. If we aren't seeing something, then show us. Help us, this community, your community, to understand what's going on. Are you not tired? Are you not tired of fighting? We are simply asking for answers and for action, not excuses. We all have jobs. Please do yours.
Hillary Desirego lives on Monroe Street. Coming? Okay. Everyone's behind the pole. I can't see. Welcome.
Hi there. Is this on? Yes. I'm Hillary DeCajio. I live on 407 Monroe Street. I'm here to ask for accountability by the New Britain Police for the death of Catherine Cologne. It's been over a month since her death, and we've heard nothing but silence from the city. When a young man was involved in the hit and run a few years ago, it took the mayor mere weeks to call for harsher punishments for juveniles. Children, by the way. Juveniles are children. The comparison says a lot about the priorities of the mayor and this administration. It says that it cares when it is convenient for a publicity stunt, but not when it is an inconvenience for the city. This is not a city that cares about people. We need a city that cares about people. This tempts me to leave this city. It makes me angry. It makes me not want to be a part of this community. But I would never leave. I love this city, and I think it can do better. It just can't do better with all of you here.
Kiara Forbes?
Good evening. My name is Kiara Forbes. I live at 60 Selma Court in Weetag. I'm a graduate student at Central Connecticut State University. I also received my undergraduate degree from Central. So I'm a community member. I recognize a couple faces up here. It's good to see you. If you don't remember me, it's fine. But Catherine Colon was killed 36 days ago, tragically, and this family has a lot of reasonable questions, and the answers are pretty simple to provide. We live in a digital age where everything is tracked, monitored. There's likely dash cam footage, speed monitoring, street light cameras, surveillance footage. Release all the footage. We know the answers are available. It's your responsibility to oversee police, so do it. These are your constituents in the room, and they demand answers, so please just answer them. Catherine isn't the first life taken by New Britain police, and with their track record, I doubt she will be the last. It's time to say something, or we'll show up to every meeting, every event, and demand justice. Thank you.
Thank you. Tiffany lives on Devon Drive. Oh, thank you.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Minom. I live at 46 Devon Drive in Manchester, Connecticut, and I'm currently a fellow at Yale Law School, and I am sick to my stomach. I'm sick because we are here demanding humanity. I'm here to support my friend Maribel and her family to honor her mother, Catherine Colon. At this point, you already know why we are all here. We are here because a murder has taken place at the hands of New Britain police. The fact that the family is still waiting for answers is absolutely unacceptable. By staying silent, you are all complicit to her death. We are all here to demand justice because her death will not be in vain. It is time to give the family and the community answers.
Thank you. Melanie Dominguez.
Good evening. My name is Melanie. I'm from Queens, New York, and I'm here today to stand in solidarity with Catherine Colon's family to support my friend Maribel. Their family right now is grieving. They're in pain. It is unacceptable that Catherine Colon was murdered by an NB police officer, and there's been no accountability. He's roaming free. He's free to do whatever he wants, apparently. That is not right. Catherine Colon is loved deeply by her children, by her family, by her community, by all of us in this room, and you're in for a fight of your lives because we are not going to stop until justice is served. We are here to demand justice for Catherine Colon. We're demanding police accountability, and while you're at it, we want you to invest in true public safety, and we all know what that looks like. Putting money into education, putting money into healthcare, jobs, all of this that our communities deserve. So do better. Do your job, and justice for Catherine Colon.
Mary Luz Candelara.
She unfortunately had to go to Pencil back home.
Okay. Janelle Neves. Doris Street, 34 Doris Street. Janelle Neves. 34 Doris Street? No. Francisco Alvarado lives on 34 Doris Street? Same. I did that. She's the one I had to leave. Are you? Okay. You're Francisco? Welcome.
Hello, I'm Francisco Alvarado from 34 Doris Street here in New Britain, Connecticut. Just this incident that has occurred in our city, it breaks a lot of our hearts. A lot of emotions are running through the city, and the people that are here. My words are, I feel like my words are coming from them. They just want justice for the incident with the police officer and a citizen. This is something that it runs to a higher level. This is a police officer and a citizen on a main road. So I hope the family and people of New Britain can get justice for this. And just thanks for hearing us.
You're welcome. Thank you. Manuel Candelara. Did I say that wrong? Manuel? 26 Wainwright Street, Wainwright Drive. Okay. Just state your name and address, please.
On behalf of Maribel Candelaria, she lives in 26 Wainwright Drive, and I will be speaking on her behalf as Tamara Lopez in the same address.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so just on behalf of me and my grandmother, I would like to say that my aunt deserves justice for what happened to her. I think it is ridiculous that it has been over a month and we haven't got any answers. I believe if it would have been roles reversed and a police officer were to get hit by a car, the news would have been out and they would have got justice for the police officer that died. My aunt was a human being. She was a proud citizen of New Britain, and the fact that her life was taken away so soon was wrong. And she deserves justice. She was a human being. She was a mother. She had 4 children she is now leaving behind due to the recklessness of the New Britain Police Department's officer. I don't understand how he hasn't received any suspension, and his quote-unquote suspension was literally just desk duty, and it lasted probably less than 2 weeks, and I think it's ridiculous that he's back at work. That's wrong. Had it had been your aunt, your sister, your mother, your daughter, you would have been wanting the condolences, the proper condolences and the proper crimes charged. I feel like the officer should be charged because what he did was wrong. No badge should ever protect a person. Exactly. No badge should ever shield a crime. It doesn't matter if he's one of your own. What he did was wrong, and y'all should hold him accountable for his actions. Y'all sit here defending him, using law. Oh, he was answering a call, which he does all day. Regardless of the fact, there's definitely cameras and evidence that will justify what we believe and what we deserve, and y'all have yet to get that for us. What are y'all doing? Y'all sit here in your office all day, and we haven't heard not one sorry, not one condolence. Instead, we've heard nosy officers in our business invading our personal privacy, trying to get answers. Why? I want to know the truth. I want to know the truth. I had to go home every day and deal with my grieving grandmother crying on her knees every night because she lost her daughter, her firstborn daughter. My aunt is crying because she lost her oldest sister. My father is on his knees crying because he lost his first sister. That's wrong. I shouldn't have to go home and deal with my younger siblings crying every damn day because they're having nightmares and feeling emotions that they can't express properly because they don't have the proper closure. How can they move on and heal if they don't even have closure? It has been more than a month. Where are the answers? Where is the care? As a citizen of New Britain, she deserves to have the same care as you guys would if she had been, with all due respect, had she had been white, you guys would have been processed this and been got the proper evidence. That's the problem. Now, I have 10 seconds left. I hope that you guys, with all the petitions we have today, do the right thing because what you're doing right now is wrong and very biased. Thank you. It's shameful. Have a good night. Good night.
Thank you. Clarissa Remuda? She had to leave? Okay. Nathaniel Cologne?
Hello, I'm Nathaniel Cologne. I live at 475 Prospect Avenue. As I stand in front of you today, I thought about all the words that I would say, all the things that I would say, but I just want to say this. My father is 48. My mother, who passed away, she was only 40. And when I look at my father at 48, so much life, he's the happiest he's ever been. He's in the best shape of his life. And I just think that even at 40, it was so young. She just still looks so young and so full of life. And honestly, the silence is deafening. My soul is aching. I just want something, anything. And instead, you just sit here in silence. And you just allow things that you shouldn't allow to happen. Everyone deserves equality, deserves the rights, deserves justice. But from what I've seen, it seems that you put police officers and yourselves on a pedestal. It seems like you don't really care about the common person. With all due respect, you just don't seem to care. And I look into all your eyes and I just see hate, honestly. Despair. And I know you're people just like us. And I know there's a process to everything, but 36 days is just ridiculous. And I think you all know that. And I just hope that you, no matter what you say today, even if you just walk away, it won't change nothing, because your silence has been deafening.
Again, it's not a back and forth, it's just the rules of the council. Maribel Rodriguez?
We heard you. Go, Mary.
We will comment after public participation is over.
Maribel Rodriguez, 26 Wainwright Drive. Last time I was standing here, the council I'm looking at, gave $55,000 to the New Britain Police Department for gun violence prevention. What gun violence issues do we have in our city? The problems we have are homelessness, lack of education, a lot of issues that I could go name. The same day they praised a white woman as we recognized Black History Month. Right? I watched as they smiled in my face. I was here alone with my best friend. And we're happy as I was enraged. I let them know I'd be here again. Okay? Unfortunately, this was the day I didn't even know. With my community, I didn't come alone. And now look at who's not smiling. Look who's not smiling. Shameful. Erin Stewart has finally put out a statement. And her statement is, my sincere condolences, but we did reach out to the we did reach out and asked if we needed any assistance. Erin Stewart, I didn't hear not a damn peep from you. Last time I checked, yes, let's clear the air. Yes, I didn't know she was the police department, because yes, the police department did reach out to me. I speak truth to power, I don't lie. Okay? They did call me. But guess what? Let me be clear. Yes, the police called. Let me break it to the police chief or whatever. We keep us safe. We handled that event as a community, as it needed to be, without the police presence who don't make us feel safe in this community. Look what they did to my mother. What assistance do we need for this event? We need answers, not assistance with an event caused by your disobedient officers. Right? We need answers. You're shameful. We are this community. Erin, not you, not anyone sitting here. And quite frankly, actually, there are some community members in here that are from the community. Let me not say all. Let me not speak to all. I know who sat and gave their condolences, and I know who's here with a straight face and is so full of hate they can't even show anything, right? Shameful. Like I said again, I'll be back again and again until I get answers and defunding the police and getting what our community rightfully deserves, which is affordable housing, education, defunding this police, and helping these educators educate our youth. That's right. And I got 10 seconds.
But I hope you guys realize that this could have been any of y'all. When y'all take off those suits and those badges, y'all got skin and blood flowing through y'all just like us, and y'all feel this shit.
Stefan Napoleon?
Stephen Napoleon, 121 Slater Road. I just want to say justice for Catherine, guys. I love y'all.
Sorry, turn the mic on. Desiree Chamberlain?
My name is Desiree Chamberlain, and my address is 91 Silver Street, New Britain, Connecticut. I just want to say that y'all pick and choose what y'all want to put out into the world. Y'all know what happened. Y'all seen what happened. It's been several issues that happened. You know, that whole, I know we had like I'm not big in the community. Like, I'm not like one of those, I'm just a family friend, and I'm here today. Like, it don't even matter what the situation is. Like, if it happened to any of y'all, if the roles were reversed, like, y'all know y'all would be on the same timing with that. So if whatever, like, I just know y'all know what's going on. I'm not going to sit up here and, like, act like if it happened to you, you would not be smiling.
Thank you. Candace Scott?
Say it again, please.
Candace Scott.
Candace Scott.
She's coming.
I'm Candace Scott, 258 Lawler Street. So I'm here today to stand in solidarity with the family that in the community that we have all lost a loved one. The community needs answers. I remember 2 years ago, we asked for the Police Civilian Review Board. We asked for police accountability. We need this to occur, to oversee the police, because things like this unfortunately continue to occur. A good leader gives the community answers and stands with their community and helps to make them feel safe. We need new leaders. I am running for city council because I care and I stand with the community. Every human being that lives here in this community, I stand with them, and they all deserve to feel safe. Tell the truth, be transparent. Ironically, I was here the last time talking about car windows being smashed and our safety here in the community and us not reporting information to our community. And my window was just smashed on Saturday. So who's next? When things like this happen, we have to look at it like, who is next? It could be any of us. It could be your mom. It could be your sister who was hit by the police officer. We need to share this information with the community to keep them safe. Your silence is an answer. We feel your answer. We need change. I wish everybody peace and love. And I believe that the leaders need to stand with their community. We need leaders who believe in public health, who want to keep people safe, who want housing, affordable housing, because crime rates will go up when people cannot afford to live. We need leaders who will listen to their community, who will empower them, who will empathize with them. We need a community we need leaders who stand with their community and will support their community because they are a part of that community as well. We're all brothers and sisters here. We are all human beings. Everybody has a right to their safety, and nobody should have to suffer like this and not have any answers from leaders. This is just unacceptable. Thank you.
Thank you. Is it Ayana Gonzalez? 422 Osgood?
It's Ayana Gonzalez, 422 Osgood Avenue. I'm 19 years old, and I'm here on behalf of the friends and family of Catherine Colon, and it's been 36 days, over a month. How would you feel if it was your sister, your mother, your aunt, your grandmother who was hit by someone who was supposed to be protecting and serving our town. What are we supposed to do? Who are we supposed to come to for the safety of our family when you are the ones who are hurting us? It's been 36 days. Condolences are given. Where's the evidence of what's going on? There's dash cam footage. There are traffic cameras. There's cameras across the street at the bank. Like, where is it? When is it going to pop up? And I know that things take time, and I know that it's a process to everything, but if it was a cop, hours later, there's going to be footage, statements, and there's going to be like justice happening. But 36 days later, here we are with the family having to do a protest to get this mother her justice. And it's still, she's laid to rest, but is she really at rest? You have daughters that are here crying. You have a son here who is grieving their mother that they can't really grieve properly because they didn't get their proper goodbyes to their mother. They're sitting here with heart full of ache because the town that is supposed to protect them, the police that is supposed to protect them, sat here and stabbed them in the back when that man was speeding up the street from this building and hit her. She was laying there for hours. The family didn't get notified for additional hours. So how are we supposed to sit here calm, vote for you guys, but you guys are sitting here kind of like giving us a slap in the face? I'm not going to say too much more, but all I'm going to say is that it's disgusting, it's heinous, and justice for Catherine.
Clarita Bermudez. Lives at 73 Farmington Avenue? No? She left? Richard Lacoutiere?
My greetings to the body. My name is Richard LaCourciere at 173 South Mountain Drive, and I join the rest of the folks here in standing in solidarity with calls for accountability and justice for Catherine Colon. There's a phrase that I often think about, and I feel that it accurately sums up the relationship between the New Britain Police Department and the folks who live in this community. There are those that the law protects but does not bind, and there are those that the law binds but does not protect. And I feel that sums up what we're seeing and what we have seen for this response. You know, so often it's the case that the communities that are most over-policed, communities of color, marginalized communities, are asked again and again and again to give something up, to take a step towards police, to meet them in the middle. Well, I think it's time that we've had the police take a step towards those communities that they have over-policed and they have went after, to meet them in the middle, to come towards them. And that's why I joined the call for a civilian review board. And I don't think it's something that's so far off of what we're already familiar with. I was a paraeducator for many years, Local 2407 here in the school district of New Britain. We have a democratically elected board which responds to issues within our education system. How come we don't have something similar for when something like this happens? When somebody kills a member of our community, to have someone to take a look and have some accountability. I don't think it's such a wild thing to call for. And the fact of the matter is, we already know what safety, true public safety, looks like. That means everyone has access to education. The unhoused have access to homes and care, mental health care services, health care. We know what public safety looks like, and those are the things that we need to prioritize, not continuing to fund those, to put more and more money into our police departments. So what I ask here today, what hopefully as this continues, is that we work on true public safety. We work on truly being accountable to our communities. And I know that, and I'll ask and make a request of those here, and I know that there are some good folks in the police department who truly want to serve and protect. They should also call for a civilian review board to make sure that they meet the community in the middle for once. I see the rest of my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Lily Marcado. Lily Marcado. I think it's 14 or 19 Sachem Street. Oh, sorry.
Hi, I'm Lily Marcado, she, her, from 19 Sachem Street. I'm a student at CCSU and president of the CCSU Intersectional Justice Coalition. I've lived here in New Britain all my life, and I'm ready for change. Look at how many people showed up here today in their busy days to fight for justice and accountability. We all know Team Aaron has been silent about this, never mind the lack of action. If this is how our city council acts when elections are 2 weeks away, I can only imagine what you do when nobody's watching. Our elected officials are supposed to be fighting for our best interests every day while we all work hard at our own jobs. As elected officials, your job is to represent our needs. But here we are, with the cameras on, the spotlight of Election Day highlighting every move you make. And even now, you can't point out the worst aspects of our police department. Our mayor and our alder people can't stand up and fight publicly against our police officers negligently murdering innocent civilians minding their business. If staying silent about this is your politics, let it be known to your constituents that you won't stand up for the worst of issues in the most important of times. If you care, stand up publicly and fight insistently to hold this officer accountable. Fight for a meaningful civilian review board for the police department. Stand up and fight for publicized arrest records, and publicly stand up and fight for city funds to not bolster our police department, but instead to actually help our community with housing and food and education, rather than funding uniformed murderers. With a simple Google search, I found what happened in 2020. When there was a vote for an effective civilian review board. Alderman Michael Thompson voted no. Alderman Wilfredo Pabon voted no. Alderman Robert Smedley voted no. All of you here today are facing the consequences. And there's much more where that came from. Every alder person here should be furious in speaking out at this meeting, using your platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and anywhere you can spread your message publicly to spread the truth about this tragedy and what should be done about our police department. Show us you're not complacent. Show us you're doing your job by enacting systemic change, and be very open about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Nancy Vasquez. Nancy Vasquez.
My name is Nancy Vasquez, and I'm come to support my niece from
What's your
Philadelphia.
address, please?
Huh?
Your address, please, for the record?
244 West Erie Avenue. I came from Philadelphia, PA.
Okay, thank you.
To support my family. And do your job, please. Please do, everybody, because everybody come, all the face waiting for the vote, 7th of November. But you don't do your job. I don't think that's nice, because if somebody of your family, I know because somebody's gonna, you know. And we need the support. We need the support. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bob Leech. Bob Leech.
I hate to take away from what's going on. My name's Bob Leech. I live at 38 Miller Street, New Britain, Connecticut, since '92. Anyways, not to take away from the serious of what's going on tonight. I mean, I have a zoning problem here for 527 Burrett Street. It's always been a commercial property since probably 100 years. And then all of a sudden now it's non-conforming. Well, I guess there's a lot of things non-conforming, but it's existing, and you can have an existing non-conforming. I'm not understanding why it's got to be changed now. This property, I think it would detract the value, not being commercial. I was thinking about it last night. I mean, I found out about it through a letter in the mail. It's got a number to call. I call The lady has nothing to know about it. I didn't find any answers out. Reach out to the guy who drafted the bill, Mr. Smedley. He never got back to me. And then I come to the meeting last night, and then I got to state my case, but I don't even know what's really going on. So I state my case, not knowing any of the facts. And then second, the guy comes up and he explains why they're making these changes, because it's non-conforming. And I was just like, well, then I don't get to talk after he made his change. So it's odd that I got the reason after and I couldn't talk about it. But I'm asking you guys to vote. I mean, I'm not understanding why after 100 years this place has got to be changed from commercial to residential. And I don't have a storefront in there. I don't have my name on it, but I do own a business. And there's a 6-bay garage on there, and I'm in there every other day. And if the neighbor next door is like, hey, you can't be using that anymore like that, then I've owned it for 20 years, paid taxes on it for 20 years, and I can't use that property anymore like I've been using it. My materials are in there, I'm running my trucks there, and all it takes is one neighbor to call, and I can't use that anymore. So that's going to be hurtful to me and my business. And Willie, I know you got a property like the same. It'd be like you saying, hey, you ain't running that fence business out of here anymore. Because, you're in a neighborhood too. It's like, it's a lot of different stuff in New Britain. But I'm just asking you guys to vote against that change on the commercial. There's no reason for it. It's been that way for 100 years. I mean, it used to be a butcher shop. I don't got any big sign on it. I'm not hurting anybody. So I'm just asking you guys to look into it. And the way it happened, I mean, it's not right. I should have got a phone call. We should have talked about it. And then, pass some sort of resolution. I just got a note in the mail that said if you had questions, I called, asked for questions. I never got anything answered. And it was just a tough way to deal with it. But anyways, thank you for your time.
Patrick Thompson.
Hello, my name is Patrick Thompson. I live on 44 Brittany Farms Road, and today I stand with the family of Catherine Cologne, and we need to advocate for justice. In the year 2022, 1,201 people were killed by police. That was the highest in the past decade. It has been increasing dramatically, and it has been ignored by politicians, so is yourself. Year after year, constantly being thwarted, swept under the rug. We had Civilian Review Board brought up to you, the people, the politicians, and you looked at us and you said no. You did not give the community, the people of New Britain, what they asked for. You are actively looking the solution in your eyes and said, we do not care and we do not want that. And this is something where it will lead to more deaths like Catherine. Violent or not, either or, it will lead to death and suffering. It is unacceptable. Every year we hear the same damn story. Every day we see somewhere in this country someone getting killed by a police officer. Statistically, 1,201, 365 days, that's 2.5 basically per day. It's unacceptable. Don't let New Britain be part of the problem. We have to be the solution. We can be the solution. Day by day, little policy changes, like Civilian Review Board, like instead of having an dramatic increase of police funding every year, we give it to the education. That I was here months ago begging when the budget was being discussed, and you guys had a gap of millions for the education system in New Britain that is failing, and you guys are actively ignoring it, and that needs to change. The community of New Britain is strong. The community of New Britain are willing to work through these issues and find solutions. And on November 7th, the community of New Britain will speak, and you will find out what we think. Thank you.
Is it Raquel Cervantes? Did I say that wrong? Lucio?
Yes.
Welcome.
My name is Rocio Cervantes. I live in 142 Bingham Street. My case is different. maybe him help me in, you help me in Spanish for translated? Oh, the lady, okay. I put a picture in my home because for the problem for the rain. And I
We
came in
did receive that.
I came in yesterday because I came in late. I can put my complaint. Oh.
Yeah, just answer the question. Lies. Again. Shameful.
And then I need a solution.
Let her speak. Go ahead.
Yes. And then when it's a lot raining, is that I have the problem in my home because it's the big problem for the house. So maybe that's is got the picture. So I need a solution because I have 2 children. My mother, she's have 90 years old, and then she's have diabetes. And when it's a lot coming here, the water is crazy in my yard. So please, I need help for this. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it for those that have put their names on the sign. I will now ask, would anyone else wish to speak before the council? Sure.
Right here.
Just make sure you state your name.
I'm this is real quick, short and brief. My name is Stephen Napoleon. That's my son, 121 Slater Road. So we're in here. We're from Hartford originally, which I will say I think Hartford would do a better job than what I see up here now. But part of the problem is right now, I can tell you automatic right off the face. You're in a community and in a city with predominantly minorities, but yet you all are white. Most of y'all are white. So how can y'all reflect the needs of the city and the community when y'all go back home to wherever? This guy got a business, got a business. He just said you got a business. So Lord knows how many millions you got. So why would you care about us? You see what I'm saying? Why would you care about us? You know what I'm saying? He's answering. What was it? What was it? Yeah, what's a damn shame? That's a goddamn. That's a shame. That's a shame. That's a shame.
All right. Order, please, order.
You not Puerto Rico. You ain't Puerto Rico.
All right, order.
From where?
Please. Okay, that's enough.
Not saying where. You're a gringo. You're a gringo. You're a gringo.
Can't complete public speaking if we're going to do that. So please allow those that wish to speak to speak. All right, name and address, please, for the record.
Good evening. My name is Pam Studley, 57 Court Street. I was not going to speak tonight because I don't really speak in front of people, but I want to give my condolences to the family. My heart hurts for them. I feel what they're coming to as far as minorities. I'm a Caucasian mother of 2 minorities children, as well as grandkids. I fear for their life. When I was living in Waterbury, my son was younger. He used to always get tormented from the police because he was minority. I can remember back in the day when we was in the mall, in the Waterbury Mall, and it was him and amongst other white boys. They were there. He was the only minority in the mall. He had his hoodie on. They looked at him like he was he must be a gang related. And I spoke, and I said something, and I came out and I spoke on behalf of my son. Oh, who are you? I'm his mother. And he's not taking the hood off, and he's not gang related. Like, something needs to be done. Justice needs to be done. The blood may be on the streets, but the blood is on your hands. We all have a higher power that we have to answer to. And you guys will have to answer to this right here. They need justice. Thank you. I'm a mother and a grandmother. I can only imagine what my kids would go through if something like happens to me. In matter of fact, 3 years ago, I almost got my life almost got taken from of abused person. And I seen what that did to my kids. You guys sit here like ain't nothing happening. Smirking and like disgusting. Unhumanity, heartless. I was crying. I was at work. I volunteer at the HRA, and they started training me for receptionist. And I was sitting there, and I was looking at the article. I just broke down crying. Felt for these people. And when they were doing their speech, I couldn't stop. Their tears were just falling. I can't even look at y'all in the face. I'm disgusted.
Just make sure you state your name and address for the record,
Yeah, I
please.
got it. My name is Hennessy Gonzalez.
I'm sorry?
Hennessy Gonzalez.
Thank you.
I stay at 211 White Street in Hartford, Connecticut. I'm not really, I'm sorry, I'm not good at public speaking. But you guys really encouraged me to come up here, the community. I don't have a strong community. I'm always moving around every couple years. And I don't stay with none of my family. I'm sorry. It's very powerful that you guys all stood together for your mom. She took me in when I was young. I can't do. She took me in when I was younger, and it just shows how loved and how meaningful she was to this community. And my mom, she is alone right now, and I would be like completely heartbroken if she's just crossing the street, not knowing that she could get hit by people that are supposed to protect her. It hurts because we're paying for all of you guys to sit here. And everyone's sitting here with a straight face. There's no emotion. There's nothing going on. You guys, I don't know a lot about the justice system. I can't tell y'all what's allowed and what's not. I can't sit up here and be like, y'all doing the right thing or right thing or wrong thing. But there is people here that know what's right and what's wrong. And you guys sit here and you guys don't do nothing for the community. So I won't be voting because I'm 19 now and I'm pretty sure I can vote. I will not be voting for none of y'all.
Anyone else wish to speak?
Yeah, I did.
Did you speak already?
Yeah. My
You
name
can't
is.
speak again, I'm sorry.
No, I did it. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Well,
My name is Denaya Sawyer. I live at 32 Skipper Street.
I'm sorry, say your name again?
Denaya Sawyer. I live at 32 Skipper Street in New Britain. I want to come up here because I heard a lot of people say they don't want to look you in your eyes, but I want you to see me. I want you to look me in my eyes. My mother was the one who was laying there on the street. I had to wait hours to find out that she was gone. So me, looking at all these people coming up, I wasn't going to speak because I already spoke, and, but I want to look you in your face. You're all going to try to get elected again, and I am now 19 as well, and I will be voting. I will be speaking my truth. But in reality, you should want justice for my mother, because if it was anybody else's mother, I would be up here supporting them too. We would be supporting too, because this is our community. But honestly, I'm just looking at all of you guys right now, getting a closer look, because when we were coming in this room, you looked distraught. Y'all was, and I get it, we was loud, but we're gonna make noise for her. We're gonna make noise for Catherine Cologne. So as her daughter, I just wanted to come here and just speak, but that's it, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Star Hendry. I live on 17 Crown Street, just up the road where Catherine Cologne was murdered. I ain't gonna say I'm political or nothing. I was asleep, but the murder of my friend's mother woke me up. So I just want to say, where's justice, where's honor, and justice for Catherine Cologne.
Thank you. John?
Thank you, Alderman Dyson. John McNamara, 56 Brighton Street. I came here tonight to say a couple of things, and the first one is I want to commend Alderwoman Luz Ortiz Luna for her efforts to provide information to our neighborhood about flooding, about the funding for the city, and about solutions to that issue. Secondly, I think this tragedy shows there's a communication breakdown that the city has to address. The NBPD, the city, to work towards a community policing where there's trust restored between residents and our public safety, which is to the benefit of the public safety department as well, the police officers. So I think the city has a lot of work to do to respond to this terrible event, and my condolences are to the family. And thirdly, I didn't know it would be three things, but the gentleman, a couple of folks that have spoken to the rapidly developed and attempt to pass, I think 20 to 24 zoning changes within 6 weeks. I know it's gone through committees. I know but it's been a rush job. So I would appeal to you tonight to table those zoning changes in the interest of the residents you've heard from, and I suspect many other residents of the community. Thanks.
Thank you. Chris Anderson?
Good evening, folks. My name is Chris Anderson. I live at 38 Forest Street. You all know me here. I had the pleasure or sometimes displeasure of serving with you. Some of you I didn't have. We obviously don't always agree on policy, but I hope that you're listening to the family and friends and community of Catherine Cologne tonight, that you're hearing and really listening to the hurt in this community. And this is not an isolated incident. Some of us sat through this a couple of years ago, again, with other incidents and other issues. There's this recurring issue of communities of color in New Britain feeling like their needs are not responded to by the city administration, in particular with policing. And this is a big problem because the folks that you are supposed to call to protect you, many people in our community feel that they cannot call them because they will not protect you and will not respond and will not be accountable, and that's unacceptable. I hope that you all agree with that. How we get from where we are to where we need to be, we may disagree, but that's my big takeaway, is that this community wants accountability and they want a police department that they can trust. And it's not just policing, it's other community service issues as well. But that's something that I've heard across the city. We do need a police civilian review board, and we need one that is for all police misconduct, not just use of excessive force, which was the version proposed by the majority, I think, 3 years ago. And we need funding for basic services in the city that help our neighborhoods, not just downtown, right? Education being a big one that a lot of folks have brought up before. I wasn't planning on speaking tonight. I came in solidarity for the family of Catherine Cologne, but I please listen to the community when they say, and of course, this is the last council meeting of this term. We'll find out in a couple of weeks what the community wants us to do next. But whether Democrats are in control, Republicans are in control, I win, Mayor Stewart wins, I hope that we'll begin to listen to these parts of the community that feel ignored to make sure that they're included in the process. Like John McNamara said, there's a communication breakdown of what people are feeling. So please, let's work on that together. I'm willing to work on it, and I hope you're willing to work on it too. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? Second time, anyone else wish to? I got to get through them first. I'm allowing those in the audience to speak if they want. So the second time, anyone wish to speak?
No, we good. We just need to hear.
Third and final time, anyone else wishes to speak before the council? Seeing none, we'll move to audio. Nothing on the audio? Okay. Public participation is now closed at 8:19 PM. Any council members wish to speak? Alderman Island.
Thank you. I'm appalled. This is my last Common Council meeting after 6 years serving, and this has just confirmed what I've been fighting for the last 6 years, accountability from the city. I've heard issues that many brought: homeless, finance, zoning. All of this is also lack of accountability here in the city and the mayor. Let me remind you a little bit about what happened with the police here. We recently had issues. The police refused to report the media what's going on, claiming that it's biased. They reversed, but we still don't get enough information. I looked at the police blotter, and it gives you spreadsheet, a little bit, what happened, and it only surprisingly separates people either black or white. And so I noticed that the majority of white were Latino, but they were not classified that way. So here's a problem with accountability. In 2017, the police shot Zoe Dowdle, a man 20 years old, a young adult. There was investigation for a year, who knows? In the video we saw it claiming, of course, as usual, that the police is not responsible. I watched the video, and Zoe and other two guys were in a car surrounded by police, by New Britain police, and yet they shot him. They shot them. They didn't have to. Right. They could have done other things. The video told me all, but the investigation yielded nothing. The report. We had an issue with appointing a new chief of police.
That's the T.
And normally we have a deputy chief of police, and we had a good candidate that had a lot of public support. I know, I talked to a lot of people, and what happened? He didn't get it.
Why? We know why.
That's not accountability.
Power and control.
We had a big demonstration here after George Floyd was killed in Minneapolis. Black Lives Matter. I participated in it. Even the police chief came up and said he supported Black Lives Matter. Out of it came the police review board, and it didn't pass. By the way, for the audience, I voted for it. But you should know. Not some of my colleagues.
But he's Puerto Rican.
Not some, and I'm not Puerto Rican. You talk about accountability, you talk about social media. I know the mayor broadcasts on social media before every meeting, and she probably broadcasts again tonight. And yet, a lot of people, the public told me that because they criticize on social media, they were blocked out. So this is not accountability. We need a mayor that issues for everyone, not on social media where she can control who's listening, who's not. That's not accountability. So again, issue of accountability. Actually, now I'm talking to you. Accountability, the lack of accountability is because we've had low voter turnout in municipal. You know what's the percentage was in the last elections? Any vote? 15%, I believe. And that's why we have who we have here. Because they know that there's no accountability. As long as they run under the mayor's line, they're getting in. There's no accountability. So what I tell you today is
Yeah, we have November 7th elections. Not just you turn in, but go around, knock on doors, as I've been doing for 6 years. Canvassing and trying to convince people to come out and vote, and people look at me and said, what can we do? You know, show up, bring your family, bring your friends, bring your neighbors, and vote. It's time we get, how about 30%? 40% accountability? I represent Ward 3, the poorest in the district. Mostly people of color, mostly renters. There are problems. Landlords don't allow them to put signs, even on that, so you don't see the names. It's time we put all of us, Democrats and Republicans, accountable by you coming and voting.
Yes.
And running for office. Because that's why I'm after 3 sessions, I'm leaving, because I want some younger people, and I want people that have been active in the community to run for office. And so get into the political game, because that's where accountability comes. Finally, I want to tell you that I looked at the videos. I looked at the September 22nd, when the TV reported about Catherine, killing. And it said that it goes first for research, for investigation in the attorney's office in Waterbury. So I called, and then it come to the city for the committee on professional performance, I guess, and I called the office this afternoon. They gave me another name, Maureen Platt, perhaps that's a judge, and just email. So I emailed, and I'll wait for a response, but I agree with all. 36 days is unacceptable. Other cities have done better. We should do better. We should post it immediately and have the people of New Britain feeling that they're worth something, and that there's accountability by everybody. So I'm all with you, and I'm glad that at least everybody came here in my last meeting, and that my work, I hope, will be continued in the next session. Thank you.
Alderman Smedley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. I respect your emotions, and I hear what you're saying. And to the folks who said that there's nothing that we can say that would make a difference, you are correct. We don't experience the pain that you have with the loss of Catherine. So I will say I am sorry for your loss, and I am sorry for your pain. I would love to give you answers, but I honestly don't have them. And it's okay to say that sometimes you don't have the answers. And I'm standing here to do that. However, I do have the ability to give you resources, and I would like to invite our police chief up to the podium at this point. Chief Marino. Chief, the podium is yours. Thank you.
Sure. First, it's Matthew Marino, 20 Karen Drive, New Britain, Connecticut. It's been that since 1986, but thank you, Basil. With all due respect to the council, it's not appropriate for me to stand up here with my back turned to all them, so if you don't mind, I'm going to face the audience.
Go right ahead.
So, out of respect to everyone here, I do want to tell you that I completely understand, as a New Britain kid, born and raised here, who has lost friends tragically, family unexpectedly, that what you're looking for right now is closure, and you're grieving. And I can feel that in the room. I felt it over the phone with Lydia when I spoke to her. I made it a point to have some of our staff reach out to Maribel and speak to her. I want you to understand that that's not lost on any of us. If I had the ability to say or do anything tonight to make this all better for you, believe me, I would. And I understand that I cannot do that right now. And that's probably one of the hardest things that comes with this job, especially when you've lived here your entire life. What I can say is that anything I can say about the investigation is going to have to wait. There's a process that we have to follow. It's been with the state police since the start. There's a reason for that. We're going to continue to follow that process. They are the ones that have the answers right now, and we do have to wait for them. If we had the ability to give you answers, we would, but it's out of our hands, and it is with the State's Attorney's Office in Waterbury for a reason, so that the New Britain State's Attorney's Office also stays out of the investigation. And if there's any other questions from the board.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you. Chief, is there a reasonable expectation of time when you would get a response back from the Waterbury District Attorney?
We've been in contact with them weekly. We are on the phone almost every other day with the Connecticut State Police. We are at their mercy, so to speak. It's their timeline, and we do not want to say or do anything to jeopardize whatever the outcome is.
And just one more question through you, Mr. Chairman. At what point would the video of the incident be released, if it can be released?
That, they are in charge of that. They have all the evidence associated with the case, and it would be entirely up to them.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I will address all that with you right now. There is a process when it comes to employee rights that has to be followed, and I understand what everybody's asking for. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, it was my decision to put him on restricted duty in order for there to be some level of work getting done as opposed to being out on administrative leave and collecting pay. That was on me.
Alderman Aylan?
Can I have an opportunity to ask a question, Chief? Yes. I have a question. So, how come, as we heard, Mayor Bronin in Hartford issued the same day when the police was involved, the video, and was able to do that much sooner? So that tells me that there's another way to do it, right? Can you explain how does the Hartford go by different rules than New Britain?
Unfortunately, Alderman, I don't have an answer to that. I wish I did, but I'm not going to compare this incident to the incident in Hartford.
Anyone else for Chief? No, thank you. Thank you, Chief. Any other council members wish to speak?
Let Aaron know
Alderwoman Sanchez.
She called us, she didn't call us. Period.
Hi, I just want to say, I'm Maribel, you know, my heart is with you and your father and the whole family. And so the people know, we are the 45% of Latino in New Britain.
45%?
45%. If we get together, trust me, we're going to change the way they treat and look at us.
They put the flag the day of her funeral. Shameful.
I didn't show up because I didn't know and I was out of state, but I talked to your father before I got here. And I told him that he got my number. If you need anything, you're more than welcome to text me or call me anytime.
Thank you so much.
You mean to tell me a cop could murder somebody and still get paid?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, with our money. With our money.
Any other people wish to speak?
From our money.
Alderman Hargraves, please. Allow him to speak, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, I just want to express my condolences to the family of Catherine Colon. Nobody should have to experience what you guys are experiencing now. And the fact that you don't have answers, I'm deeply sorry. It's not up to this board or this council to decide what happens, and we don't discipline officers or the police department, obviously.
You guys fund them. Y'all fund them. But you have a say. You keep giving them money.
Can we continue to
Don't
talk?
lie in my face. Don't lie in my face.
Please allow him to speak.
Well, my condolences to the family. I'm sorry for you if I can't give you the answer that you want to hear today. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to hear from the Puerto Rican.
Okay, I'm not from San Juan, I'm from San Germán, first of all. Yeah.
Her mom, that's where her mom's from. That's
Okay, all right, see? Now, we don't know hardly nothing that you guys know, because we're waiting for the state police to get back to us, and they don't tell us nothing.
That police officer knows. Right.
If he does, he ain't told us
Everyone
yet.
that seen knows, so y'all know.
No, we don't know.
Maybe you not, but that.
There's security cameras that definitely
I
Yeah.
want to know why you voted against the, what's that here about?
Policeman,
I want to know why you voted against it, and Mr. Michael Thompson voted against it. Because I'm voting to get you guys out of here. I'm voting to get you guys out of here.
Hey.
I got my girl right here.
Please.
My girl right there,
Luna.
Please.
She's good. I don't know about my man right here.
Before this gets out of hand, it's Alderman Papone's.
Let me grow up.
Why don't we just wait a couple more weeks and see what happens? You always could come back. There'll be another council meeting in probably about 2 to 3 weeks. So you'll be here? Good. All right, thanks.
I'll be here with bells on.
All right. Are you a voter? No.
Yes. He lives in New Britain.
Any other?
I'm just saying, I know her.
Please, order. Order.
121 Slater Road.
He's from Hartford, but he pays these high-ass taxes.
All right, any other council members wish to speak? Alderwoman Lewis? In all decency, we had everybody speak. Please allow us to speak. Thank you. Alderwoman Lewis.
We'll allow Luce to speak.
So, there's a few things that I want to address. I did see the meeting yesterday from the zoning meeting, and just to let you guys know, I don't think we should be rushing anything. If the public is not aware or doesn't understand the process or the changes, then we shouldn't be rushing it and voting on it as the council, right? So you guys do have my support on that. Now, education. So I can tell you this, during the budget season, when I was back there meeting with the team, I suggested for either one, the mill rate to be lowered, right? Because our taxes are going to go up. That's right. I'm like, well, if we're not going to lower the mill rate, then we need to fund education more. Unfortunately, I didn't have the support from my peers, and I'm only one out of 15, right? I mean, there was a few others that agreed, but unfortunately, I'm one person. And then I just wanted to, there's a few things I want to address. Once somebody has said, that we're cowards, and I'm going to speak for myself. Everyone else can stand up and defend themselves. But, I was born and raised here in New Britain, okay? I grew up in Pinnacle Heights. I've seen people get shot. I've seen people get stabbed. That's where I grew up, right? And I do more than just come to these meetings, okay? I volunteer. I'm a coach. I volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club with Mr. Jones. I volunteer at the food share at the end of every Saturday, feeding our community. So there's more than I do than come here to meetings. Education, zoning. And then, there's been a few instances where so every time and I love seeing the community here, right? We should see, even though I understand it's a horrible situation, the community needs to come out and speak more and be united, just like this. And not only when bad things happen, right? We should always stick together. And unfortunately, because the few times the community did come out and speak, and I voted against it, I sided with the community, I got shut down too, okay? So unfortunately, I don't have answers to you guys regarding Ms. Colon's death, right? And I just found out that her oldest son is related to me. That's how huge my family is. So if he is here, I would like to meet him. But unfortunately, I don't have answers because I've always sided with the community, and I'm to the point that even though I am an elder woman here, I don't get answers myself. okay? So, because it seems like every time I vote against something, I side with the community, I get pushed away. Me and the mayor haven't talked since like July of this year, June or July of this year, okay? So I was pushed out. That's why I'm not running Democrat, I'm not running Republican, I'm running independent, because I'm tired of this. I'm tired of people always siding with who the mayor is or who's running for mayor. It's not that. It's whenever the community comes out, we as a whole need to listen to the community. And that's something that I stressed in the back when we spoke, when we had meetings. Guys, remember, the community is out there. We need to side with the community. And again, I'm sorry, I'm just one. I don't have the answers. Hopefully, Mayor Stewart is watching this, and she has answers for you guys tomorrow. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. To piggyback on what she said.
I'm sorry. Any other alder people wish to speak?
Why we ain't getting the job done?
You gotta go with Pedro Pavon wants to go home.
Anyone else? Okay.
He don't care.
The community is asking for something, and y'all keep shutting it down.
Well, before we conclude, I too want to thank everybody that came and spoke. I'm sorry, but, well, I personally thank everybody for coming. It is important. Your voice is important to us. And my deepest condolences too. I totally agree with it. I'm frustrated as a former police commissioner that as much as I like having the process of going through the state's attorneys, what frustrates the heck out of me is why it takes so long. I don't think that's right. It should take a lot less time. I can't speak for different towns or cities because they, when something happens, goes to different district attorneys. So we went to Waterbury, back to Middletown. And I want to see everything. I want to see a conclusion too. It frustrates the heck out of me that we're all in a waiting game. I don't think that's right. So, but we need to abide by the state law. You can maybe put something out, but there's probably information that makes its way out, and unfortunately, sometimes it's incorrect. And I think we need to wait. I have no problem whatsoever with Alderman Ayalon getting on the chief state's attorney to say we need closure faster than sooner. But in previous cases, sometimes it took 16 months, and it was like, really? I mean, you can't wait that long. We can't wait that long. It's just not right. So. Well, unfortunately, then you've got to go to the state attorney's office to ask for the dash cam. We can't, I can't.
5,000 falsified tickets by state police.
Well, this is, we're talking about chief state's attorneys and judges, not state police that are doing this. So I thank everybody again for coming. The meeting will start shortly. Thank you.
Send a letter to the state's attorney and ask for faster service. You all could do something. Rolling out. The people united will never be defeated. 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 Community over police. 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 Hey, hey, oh no. Connor has to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Connor has to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Connor has to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Connor has to go. You know he's wrong. And that student was even wronger. That weird ass, Dr. Phil looking man. Right, Dr. Phil looking. Of course, they were, she was, I don't know who she is like that. Oh, my favorite person. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. That's easy. That's it. One on the fence. We need one at our house. We got two big dogs.
I like this one off of my head. I think the group chat, like, you should have you look like Dr. Phil. Be sure he's fat, like.
If I could have all Alder people take your seats, all Alder people take your seats.
We gotta take a wee break so these people get out of here.
Huh?
We gotta go to the bathroom.
We're trying to start, so go now.
You gotta wait till they wanna grab me on the phone.
Once again, if all older people could please make their way to their seats. All older people, please make your way to your seats. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I call to order the October 25th, 2023 regular meeting of the Common Council. The time now is 8:56 p.m. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Alderpersons Dyson. Here. Ayalon. Here. Catanzaro. Here. Costa. Hargraves.
Excused.
Hargraves here. Thank you. Malinowski. Here. Ortiz Luna. Here. Pabon. Here. Russell. Here. Rutkowski. Here. Sanchez. Skirpo.
Excused.
Segura.
Excused.
Thompson.
Present.
Smedley.
Present.
12 present, Your Honor. Or Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman.
Mr. Clerk. Please rise for the invocation, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. O God, our Heavenly Father, we thank all of our residents that took up the challenge in 2021 to run for and be elected to represent the people of New Britain. We give thanks to our mayor and council members who represented our city. We give thanks to all elected officials that are not running again. We all recognize the pressures and time constraints these public servants faced while doing the work of the people. We wish all that chose to participate in this year's election to be proven worthy of the confidence and support placed in them by our fellow residents. We ask this in thy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Before we move on with our regular meeting agenda, we have some presentations to make this evening. I first want to recognize a few important people that are very important to this council and to all of us. And the first person would be our council secretary, Jessica Giratana. Jessica, can you come on up here? As this is our last council meeting, this is a gift for you on behalf of the council. Thank you for all your work. We appreciate everything you do for us.
Thank you so
And of course, we also have to recognize Ms. Marion Fishbein, who's behind the cameras. Thank you for all your help during our council meetings. We appreciate you. You're welcome. Okay. Say it again?
Making him taller?
Yeah. Makes me look taller on camera. We have to recognize our retiring council members this evening, and we do have plaques of recognition for them. And Jessica and Alderman Thompson are going to help me distribute those. First up, retiring will be Alderwoman Desiree Costa, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. A round of applause for Desiree for her service. We have Alderman Chris Rakowski retiring this council. We have Alderman Pete Skirpo retiring this council. He unfortunately was called into work, could not be here. Alderman Segarra is retiring this council. Thank you, Alderman Segarra, for your service. Not here tonight. Trespasses. And Alderman Dyson is retiring. Thank you, Alderman Dyson. And we have Alderman Ayalon retiring from the council as well. Thank you, Alderman Ayalon. All right, thank you very much. And on to Alderman Dyson for the minutes of the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I make a motion to accept the minutes of the regular meeting of October 11, 2023.
Seconded by Alderman Russell. Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Alderman Dyson for amendments to the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, there are no amendments to the agenda.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Clerk, are there any petitions this evening?
No, sir, there are no petitions.
Thank you very much. Back to Alderman Dyson for the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I make a motion to accept the consent agenda of items A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, O, P, Q, R, S, T, and U.
Okay, so that leaves items J, K, L, M, and N off consent. And who was the second on that?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Hargraves. Okay. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Okay. Alderpersons Dyson.
Yes.
Ayalon.
Yes.
Catanzaro.
Yes.
Hargraves.
Yes.
Malinowski.
Yes.
Ortiz Luna.
Yes.
Pabon.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Rutkowski.
Yes.
Sanchez.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
12-0.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Motion carries. And we'll move on to Alderwoman Ortiz Luna for item J.
Do I have to make a motion or just? read
Yes,
it?
a motion to accept.
Okay, make a motion to accept item number J, or letter J.
Seconded by Alderman Pabon.
So, this item J is, I filed a petition, to get a designed plan of the new, of the project, for the Allen Street, to help with the floods. And, I mean, after reviewing this, it kind of seems like the same thing Mark Moriarty said to, meetings ago. It doesn't really give an update on what, it gives an update on what needs to be done, but there's no update after that. I asked for a plan. This does not look like a plan. I wish they would have designed the plan to show at least an effort on what's gonna go, what's gonna happen next. But yeah. See here is. Mark, can you come up, please? I'm sorry, Mr. Moriarty. I apologize.
Microphone.
So has there been a new design yet?
Absolutely not. I mean, this is, the plans were completed. This is a big project. This is a $7 million project. They had design plans completed 10 years ago. Our first step is to hire a consultant. We're hoping to get that on the next meeting agenda. Work with them, to have them go through their design plans from 2013. And then, like I identified, there's a lot of design constraints here that are very critical. Like the deepness of the excavations and the presence of rock, potentially have to do foundation investigations. There's a lot of steps here. And this project is important to me like it is to everyone, and doing this project is important to me. But at the same time, we just took on Overlook as a project, and we're expediting that project. That project was not on, we already had a full project load, and we took on Overlook just to try and make sure that happens in the spring. And we are moving full steam ahead on that, as we will on this one. But this year, we typically manage $15 million a year in construction. I think we're managing $37 million in construction this year. We have a lot of projects going on, so we're taking this on and we're moving ahead on it. And I'm thrilled to be able to do this project, but it's just going to take a little time. And we could snap our fingers and just say we're going to get this done immediately or 2 weeks, but it's just not a reality. And we're doing everything we can here.
Thank you, Mr. Moriarty.
Yeah, but what I understand, if I can remember right, 2 meetings ago, we were told that it'll take maybe 3 weeks or so to get an update on the plan, and here we are almost a month later, and I don't have an updated design plan, and I get it, it takes time. But I mean,
Alderwoman,
all these floods.
Alderwoman, the steps are outlined. He stated in his report that Public Works Engineering Department has solicited a proposal from Cardinal Engineers. This is a publicly funded project, and it takes time. These have to be publicly bid out. So they solicited Cardinal Engineering for a design plan, and it's going to continue in the stages of the bidding process at this point. The second stage there is that they have to update the field survey.
I understand that, I read that. The point is that nothing's been started yet.
This is the start of the work. They're not just going to go out and dig a hole, Alderwoman. Are there any further questions for Mr. Moriarty?
Yeah, but how much more can the design be different?
honestly,
I understand the money. I understand it might be a little bit more than 10 years ago, but how much more can the design change from then to now?
Significantly, considering the increased intensity of rains that are occurring now than were happening 10 years ago. You think, what if we go through and we put this $7 million project in the ground, and we haven't looked at the design and see, should we be doing more than our traditional 10-year design storm? Should we be trying to do something bigger? We'd spend $7 million and this is still flooding. I mean, the storms that are happening are more than a 10-year design storm.
Right, and it's just gonna get worse. I just hope we need to start on this project. I'm sorry. Thank you.
I agree with you.
We have, the Public Works Department has started the planning process for the project. Alderman Ayalon?
This might be the last opportunity to talk to you in a conference, in a council meeting. As you know, we voted unanimously on a climate change emergency plan 4 or 5 years ago, which actually specified that we need to work on flooding. We need to end, the whole council voted for it. And yet, when you look at the project you mentioned, now you're scrambling because you have so many other projects. But I don't think that the city has put a priority on issues of climate change, which is not just flooding. It's the heating, it's issues of trees that I've mentioned through the years. The city doesn't have a plan for trees, to replace trees that have been cut through so I'm asking the bigger picture. Are you going finally, maybe after I leave, 6 years after, going to put a priority not on a turf, a football field, but on actually increasing the number of the amount of area that is actually water can sink in rather than go through the channels and increase our, is Public Works going to rethink its priorities?
I mean, it's hard for me not to answer without being a little bit upset about this because, okay, our Complete Streets work, that's working on pedestrian safety, which was literally 90% of this time we all spent here tonight was about pedestrian safety. I'm on the state's bike ped advisory committee. I gave a lecture today, on pedestrians. It's something that we care about. It's something we're working on greatly. So the New Britain Flush program, that program is preventing millions of gallons of sewage from going in the Connecticut River. It's a massive environmental initiative. The problem that we have here is there's so many things that are a priority. There's so many things that are critical, and we are working on low impact design. Honestly, we're reducing impervious area in a lot of locations. We are working on flooding, and then what's been unfortunate, and hopefully in Washington and at the state level, there'll be more of a recognition that they'll grant funding for climate and issues and flooding, because they don't right now. So if you want to address these issues, you got to handle them purely locally, where on so many of these other issues, there's funding available to address them that doesn't have to come out of the city's pocket.
And if I may add, Mr. Chairman, I approached, actually, my first year here, I approached the Public Works about a simple solution that I was taken by quite a few cities, is painting our roofs white. And it reflects and reduces in fact, I just came back from Montreal, where actually the city ordinance is that, especially commercial buildings where it's flat, there is actually commercial material that is white, and it has decreased substantially the temperature in cities. So it's not very expensive to make our city more resilient to climate change and to, any plans?
Alderman, Mr. Moriarty, if you'll beg me leave to answer this question. If you Google Earth our school buildings, Alderman, they all have a polyprene white or reflective gray material along with other city buildings.
I appreciate
when they are re-roofed.
With the school system, but what about the city?
The city owns the schools, sir.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Mr. Moriarty?
Well, I guess my last comment is I would hope that, of course, you're not alone. You are operating under instructions from the mayor's office and from city council that instead of spending millions of dollars on nice projects that don't increase our resiliency, that this hopefully, my legacy would be is that this becomes in the next, hopefully for those that are here and the newcomers, is the number one priority. Otherwise, there's no New Britain with all the flooding and the heating and other issues that are coming our way. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moriarty. Alderman Kinzer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, we know, that, well, first of all, you're understaffed. Got that, big time. And we have a lot of stuff in the, in the fire. And I know you're doing the best you can. I really believe that. I know you're getting a lot of pressure, because we're getting a lot of pressure, and it flows down. And now we're seeing, off of South Main Street, we just have pictures of Bingham Street. So it's hitting all over the city, and that's probably from the excessive rain. So I know we have a lot of work to do. And some of the stuff the Alderman was talking about, I know that's all grant money for the parks and stuff. That's a little different. But if we could somehow, at least on the Allen Street for now, is keep the people informed somehow, whether it comes from your office or the mayor's or somebody, every so often, give somebody a heads up where the progress is. I think that'll it's not going to cure everything, but it might just calm people down knowing that we're doing something. So I would ask you maybe to do that. Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yep. Alderman Pavone.
Through you, Chairman. Do you know when the overlook is going to start?
We're looking at having that start in the spring. We just took it on. The design is going a lot better than I thought. The construction is going to be simpler than what's great about we're finding is that if you put the large culvert underneath the sidewalk and closer to the property line, you can keep the existing trunk line in place because you need to manage the water while the project's going on. There'll be the two ends while we're tying on will be little trickier. We may leave the existing drainage system in there just for excess capacity, and it also decreases some utility work, but we're working hard to get that in the spring and feeling good about that as a project.
Thank you, sir. To Mr. Island here, my roofs are white on my commercial building. I think there's an ordinance on that.
Thank you, Alderman Pavone. Any further questions or discussion on item J? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Alderwoman Ortiz Luna, I apologize, I'm sick this evening. Alderwoman Ortiz Luna for item K.
Thank you. I'd like to accept and adopt item number, or letter K.
Seconded by Alderman Thompson.
All right. So I asked proof for the transfer of the $4 million that we approved as a council on September 27th to help fund the Allen Street drainage improvement project. And I don't see much proof. I see the stamp stating that it was approved, the resolution was approved. I don't see a bank information or an account. I wish they would have provided actual proof. So I'm very disappointed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion on item K? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Alderwoman Ortiz Luna for item L.
Make a motion to accept and adopt item number L, letter L, sorry.
Seconded by Alderwoman Sanchez.
So this one was actually, it was done correctly. And I don't really have much to say about this one. This was information that a few residents asked me to file the petition for, to get the answers in Ward 4, and I did, and I shared it with them.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Any further discussion on item L? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Alderwoman again for item M.
Thank you. I would like to accept and adopt item letter L, M, sorry.
Seconded by Alderman Thompson.
So this was a request that the neighborhood around Washington Park requested for me to put in. It's regarding installing a water fountain at the Washington Park. I go there about once a week at least, and you know, they're always asking me, you know, for an update. I've asked numerous of times for updates. With Justin Dorsey, I just got texts back saying we're working on it, we're working on it. So I decided to file the petition, and now I get a petition or an answer that's basically saying that it's too expensive. It would cost approximately $11,500 to install it, and I'm just not sure why we couldn't just pay for the water fountain and have Public Works install it for us. Something that's called in-kind service. Is Justin here to answer that?
Yep. Mr. Dorsey, can you approach the podium? Congratulations on your wedding, by the way.
Thank you. Good evening.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So is there a reason why Public Works can't just do the installation to save us money to install the water?
Well, that's just the $11,500 for the water line. And then also in the report is $3,000 to $6,000 for the water fountain, which would have to come from an outside company on top of the yearly maintenance for winterization and breakdowns and all that stuff, plus the cost of the water. And only looking at Alderman Thompson and Catanzaro, because you both were in Public Works and Parks, and you know that all parks and all water, even though it's the city's water, you're still paying the water department back for their water at the end of the year.
Okay. And there's not, I'm just asking because I know there was a pool there and there's no a water line already installed there?
Not for drinking water.
No? Okay. All right, hopefully sometime we can come up with this money, because again, it's not, I didn't put the petition in for myself. It's the residents that want it. It's a nice park. I mean, it needs upgrade, yes, but you know, it's always used by our residents, and a lot of dogs go there. I did see that it was observed by the city, and that people bring their own bowls and water, but that makes it more of a mess. There's water bottles everywhere. I've seen jugs, milk jugs full of water there. So I think this will definitely limit, you know, that stuff, limit the garbage. Hopefully we can get it installed soon. Thanks.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the item? Okay, seeing no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Alderman Ayalon for item N.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I make a motion to accept item N.
Seconded by Alderwoman Sanchez.
Thank you. Can I have Mr. Perugini if he's here? Thank you. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hello. Maybe for I understand, I wrote a petition because the city had a letter from OPM, you know, saying that the city of New Britain has been late. Auditing, financial auditing was late 10 months. Can you explain what is financial auditing and why is it required to do?
Sure. Financial auditing is something that every town and city has to do, and you have to report back to the state the use of funds. The reason it was late is because we've had massive staff turnover, and that was actually one of the items they said in bullet point 2 of the letter. It says, in the event you've had staff turnover, please report that, and then what's being done in order to fix that. So we had a lot of turnover from March 11th of 22 all the way until May 29th of 23 when we were finally up to full staff. We lost a lot of higher level staff that had knowledge of over 20 years. The deputy finance director who handled the audit had 24 years, and she left in August, and it took time all the way until end of January before we could get a replacement for her, January of 23.
May I ask, what was the purpose of such a huge turnover in a short time?
We had an aging demographic up in the finance department. Most of the staff had over 20 years, and they retired either for, they were close to retiring here or could retire. There were also medical and family medical issues for why they left their positions.
How long does it usually take to create an auditing report?
How long does it usually take?
From the end of the fiscal year, I understand it's June, right?
End of the fiscal year is June 30th.
Okay.
And
How long does it normally take?
Normally takes 6 months to do. So by December 31st is when you're supposed to have the audit issued by state statutes. But when you have massive turnover and wealth of knowledge just gone, and it takes time to hire, just because you get another body in doesn't mean they're familiar with everything the city does. And a lot of the governmental finance jobs, if you were to look at the GFOA website, in the past they usually had 5 to 10 open at any one time, and right now they're at 25 with ones that just keep reopening because the skill set just isn't there. Just because you post something, people apply for it, doesn't mean they're skilled enough to handle higher level.
So, you said January you were full, so why not by June? Why still?
End of May, we were full. The replacement for the deputy who handled the audit came end of January. And at the end of January, we were also dealing with W-2s, 1099-Rs, 1099 NECs. All of this was new that we didn't have background on. We were doing tax tables for the December. We had to change the state and the federal ones, and we didn't have an individual who knew how to do it. So we were dealing with the software vendor as well as learning it for the first time.
So when are you expecting to submit the auditing report?
We're working with the auditors right now, and we're trying to get this all set as soon as possible.
Which is, what's your prediction?
I don't have a set date because ultimately it's CLA that issues the opinion on as well as the report. So it goes through multiple layers of review, as well as we do sections. We give it to them, they have questions, they need more work, more clarification, we go back and fix it. And then there's different layers of review from manager to partner to concurring to now national review.
Okay. Does the state give you the OPM gives you a new deadline?
Did OPM give us a new deadline?
Yep.
No, they just want it done, and we want it done too.
So let's say you submit it in a year. Is that
Okay.
acceptable for them?
Would we submit it in a year?
In a year from now, let's say next November instead of when you're already running for another year. When is that, or is there any, when I don't turn my taxes or, I get a fine. I pay a fine. Is the city paying a fine for being late?
The city is not paying a fine because we're actively working with the auditors. And so the auditors also have to report to the state to let them know we're doing something. In the event we don't have them here, then it becomes an issue.
So it's interesting, Mr. Chairman, I just want to comment here that when the residents here don't pay their water bills, boom, after a few months, they get started hammered with fine. But when the city is late, regardless of the reason, they're not getting fined. I think it's a little unequal here. But anyway, when is the next one? Actually, 2023 will be due. 2023 will be due when?
End of December. So the moment we finish the 22 one, we're jumping right into the 23 audit.
So are you expecting to be late there too?
You're given a few months in order for extensions, but we're looking to have it probably by February for the February of 24 for the 23 one. That's what we're shooting for.
Okay. So while looking, finally, the last question, while looking at the auditing, any surprises, any issues that seem to be, an issue in New Britain as far as the budget, as far as any deficits, unanticipated deficits or whatever?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Alderman. The difference between the water bills and constituents who don't pay them and the city is paying our bills. It's simply a notification that we have to submit a report. Thank you, Mr. Perugini. Thank you for bringing your tools to work today. Alderman Dyson for item number 1. Oh, I apologize. We have to vote on that. Is there any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Alderman Dyson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to accept and adopt item number 1.
Seconded by Alderman Thompson.
Thank you. Number 1, as all...
I'd like to make a motion to table this item 36224.
Can you do that with your microphone on again, please?
Yes, I can. Mr. Chair, I'd like to make... Yes, I'm sorry. I forgot. We're not in committee today.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to, for item number 36224, to table this item.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Ayalon. Motions to table are non-debatable. All those in favor of tabling item number 1 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item number 1 is tabled. Alderman Dyson for item number 2.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 2.
Seconded by Alderman Thompson.
Thank you. This is to amend the official zoning map to change the B1 secondary business district located on East Street, south of Ella Street, and to north of Bingham Street to BR1 Neighborhood Business Revitalization District. This was approved by the zoning committee last night and was also approved by city planning. It was brought back to us with a favorable recommendation, and I know Mr. Benjamin is here if anybody has any answers, and I urge adoption.
Any further discussion on item number 2, Alderman Ayalon?
As in the item before that, I believe this item, again, should be tabled because this is our last meeting. Let the new Common Council deal with that. So I make a motion to table.
There's a motion on the floor to table, seconded by Alderwoman Sanchez. Motions to table are non-debatable. All those in favor of tabling this item signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Nay. Motion fails to table. We are back to item number 2 as presented. Any further discussion on item number 2? Seeing none, all those in favor of item number 2 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Motion carries. For the record, Alderman Ayalon, Alderwoman Ortiz Luna, and Alderwoman Sanchez. Alderman Dyson, item number 3.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 3.
Seconded by Alderman Thompson.
Thank you. This is to amend the official zoning map to change the B1 Secondary Business District generally located to the northwest of the intersection between North Street and Stanley Street to B3. And again, this was reviewed extensively during zoning and also the city planning committee. So it has been vetted. So I urge adoption. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Any further discussion on the item? Alderman Ayalon?
Mr. Chairman, for the same reason as before, and I may add that a lot of the public haven't been consulted on that. I remember when we had the massive zoning, I asked, and I didn't get a good response about public participation in this, so I make a motion to table this motion.
There's a motion to table by Alderman Ayalon, seconded by Alderwoman Sanchez, non-debatable. All those in favor of tabling the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Nay. Motion to table fails. Back to the resolution as
Mr.
presented.
Chairman, can we have a record of who voted against?
Sure. For the record, there was a motion to table and favored by Alderwoman Sanchez, Alderman Ayalon, and Alderwoman Ortiz Luna. The rest motion to deny the table. Back to the item as presented. Any further discussion on item number 3? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. For the record, Ortiz Luna, Sanchez, and Ayalon. Motion carries. Alderman Dyson for the 4th item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Make a motion to accept and adopt item number 4.
Seconded by Alderman Russell.
Okay, thank you. This is to amend the official zoning map to change B1 district located at 683 Osgood Avenue to T residential.
All right, thank you, Alderman. Any discussion on this item?
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Rakowski?
I would like to make a motion to table item number 36227, please.
Second, motion to table made by Alderman Rakowski, seconded by Alderman Thompson. Is non-debatable. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Thank you. Motion carries. Alderman Dyson for item number 5.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Make a motion to accept and adopt item number 5.
Seconded by Alderman Thompson.
This is to amend the official zoning map to change the T residential district located along East Street between Newington Avenue and Road Street to TODEM 1, transit-oriented business development / East Main Street. And again, public participation was here last night. There were quite a few that spoke, asked questions, and again tonight. So it has been vetted by the zoning and city planning. So I urge adoption. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Dyson. Any further discussion on the item? Alderman Ayalon?
I make a motion to table this. Again, I understand that there were a lot of resistance to that, and it's also late in the game. I think the new Common Council should deal with that. Thank you.
Motion to table by Alderman Ayalon, seconded by Alderwoman Sanchez. This is non-debatable. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed to the table?
Nay.
Nay.
Motion to table fails. Back to the regular item as presented. Any further discussion on the item? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Ortiz Luna, Ayala Sanchez for the record. Motion carries. Oh, and Alderman Canzaro, thank you, sir. Alderman Dyson for the 6th item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 6.
Seconded by Alderman Thompson.
I would think everybody be in favor of this. This is to amend section 220 of the zoning ordinances to remove curb service type eating establishment from the prohibited use list, and I urge adoption.
Thank you, sir. Any further discussion on this item? Alderman Canzaro.
Mr. Benjamin, please, through you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely.
All right, I watched this online last night. I just want to clarify, what exactly does this mean? Drive up or outdoor seating or both?
Sure, so it's any food service establishment that serves out an open window, basically. So again,
window.
Okay. Open window, yeah. So to clarify, this is removing it from the prohibited use list.
Right.
This is not adding regulations. We went through a potential, so we basically gave variances to a food truck operator that's locating on John Downey Drive recently through Board of Appeals. And through discussions with the building department, who has zoning enforcement under their umbrella, we discussed varying from this issue. But if you vary from the prohibited use list, that undermines the authority of the prohibited use list. We felt it was better to repeal it from the prohibited use list.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was for outdoor seating, and I just, because there's some places don't have room, sidewalk, and I just wanted to make sure that was.
Yeah, so I mean,
be carte blanche.
well, and part of this is also with COVID, the sort of curbside pickup would be not allowed under this if it remained on the prohibited use list. Additionally, for everybody's benefit, we are putting into the zoning ordinances safeguards and guidelines around food trucks. And that's to encourage them in appropriate places and, again, limit operating hours. Seating is going to be associated with bathrooms on site, so general cleanliness and trash removal. So this is in anticipation of having an ordinance on food trucks.
Thank you, Mr. Pim. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Alderman Canzaro. Any further discussion on item number 6? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Alderman Dyson for the 7th item. There's a trend here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 7.
Seconded by Alderman Thompson.
Thank you. This is to approve the amendment to Chapter 20.5 Special Districts of the Code of Ordinances. It really has to do with the downtown district. Nicole Bosco is here tonight. She was also here last night to discuss what the changes were for the downtown district, and I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman. Just to clarify, this eliminates the different sections of the downtown district and combines them into one district zone. Alderman Ayala.
Yes, can I have somebody to clarify the
Sure, Ms.
changes?
Bosco.
So the voters will understand.
Sure.
Oh, the opposite. It was okay already. Yes.
Sorry.
Yes,
Good evening.
good-
Yeah, to clarify, Chapter 20.5, that is the sit-in ordinance that allows the New Britain Downtown District to exist. If you've read the resolution, the ordinance currently states that the downtown district is broken up into 4 zones. The language change would essentially eliminate that and just have us unified as one zone.
What was
recognized
the
as one
purpose
zone.
of the different zones?
Sure. Going back to 1990 when the ordinance was established, if I had to guess, it was probably to mirror the ward system that the whole city recognizes. So currently in our bylaws as well as the city ordinance, it states we have to have 2 commissioners from each zone. Unfortunately, we just find it very challenging to fill vacancies in these certain zones. If we want to operate in their highest and best operation scale that we can, having vacancies doesn't do us any good. If we can recruit and retain better commissioners as a whole that can contribute to monthly meetings.
So the 4 zones represented different kind of businesses, or what was it?
No, the meets and bounds strictly just separate downtown district into different sections.
Just for easier, I guess, representing more?
Essentially, of course, we
that.
want to engage as many people and property owners as we can, but it's just always different.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I actually have a question, Mr. Chair.
Sure. Alderman Canzaro first, if you don't mind. He goes first.
Hey. When I first saw this, I was a little concerned, but you kind of explained it well. Under some of our new zoning, did we expand the downtown district? Or no, it's still the same?
The
Okay.
meets and bounds that are in the current ordinance have not been.
And I know the ordinance says you're gonna try very hard to have each section represented, and I know
Ideally.
you will, because that's my fear. Not much different when we were all at large. The majority of the council was from the west end of town. So I know you try very hard, because each section of downtown is a little different, you know, and I think that's important, and I know you know that, so.
Yeah, to put it into perspective a little better, the challenge too is in regards to Zone 4, that's your East Main and Main, so think New Bright Plaza down to the Webster Bank building. There's only a handful of buildings there.
You're right.
That's out of my
That's
hands.
harder. Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Alderman Rakowski.
Just to clarify for Alderman Canizaro, you have to be a property owner to be on your board, correct? Thank you. It's not by election.
All right,
Oh, yes,
thank you
sir.
for that
I was
clarification.
just explaining to you how that
Any
works.
other, gentlemen, any other questions for Ms. Bosco? Thank you. Seeing no further questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Alderman Dyson for the 8th item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 8.
Seconded by Alderman Thompson.
This is to approve the expenditure of $101,400 to Axon Enterprise for the purchase of in-car cameras, software upgrades, licensing, and video storage for the New Britain Police Department. And it is in their budget, and I urge adoption. So I know the chief's here if anybody has any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Dyson. Any discussion on this item? Alderman Ayalon.
Just a question, if the 101,000, is this part of the city budget, or is that a grant? Because I haven't seen anything
We'll
about
have
a
the
grant.
chief here to answer that question. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, to answer the question, a little bit over 50% of it is paid for by a grant that was secured by Chief Shute prior to him retiring. The rest will come from asset forfeiture for now. This was a project started by Chief Shute at the very beginning of the year, and we'll obviously revisit it before the end of this year to see how we proceed.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any further discussion on the item? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Alderman Pabon for the 9th item.
Make a motion to accept and adopt item number 9.
Seconded by Alderman Canzero.
Okay, this is a budget appropriation for the police department, reference the Edward Barnes Memorial Justice Assistance Grant. This is for $60,867. This is to go after violent crimes, invest in guns and drug-related crimes, burglaries and car thefts, and I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman Pabon. Thank you. Any discussion on the item? Seeing none, all those in favor of the item signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Item carries. Thank you. Alderman Dyson for resolution number 10.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 10.
Seconded by Alderman Hargraves.
This is to appoint Cheryl Blogosowski as the revenue collector of the city of New Britain. I know she has done her job admirably for many, many years and without political bias, and I fully endorse her. She's been terrific, and I know Linda Gard is here if anybody has any questions, but I would urge adoption. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Dyson. Alderman Ayalon?
Thank you. May I ask, is there...
Mrs. Gard?
Ms. Granado here?
Nope, Ms.
Thank
Gard,
you.
Ms. Linda Gard. Ms. Granado has
Lori
left us.
Granado. Thank you.
Alderman, this is Linda Gard, our
I mean
Director
Linda
of
Gard.
HR.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Linda Gard. I confused. Thank you for reaching out to me, and, you know, we have questions, so I just wanted the public to know. So, why are we appointing a new tax collector? Maybe you can update the voters or the people in New Britain.
Sure. The charter had changed earlier in the year, and the position of tax collector is not going to be an elected position. It's now going to be a civil service position, and it's called a revenue collector.
Instead of a tax collector, a
Yes.
revenue collector?
Yep.
Okay. what was the qualifications and, how was it advertised and so on?
Okay, so the qualifications, we took the qualifications directly from the charter, which was in section 8.9. It was a bachelor's degree in accounting, finance or related field, and a certification as a Connecticut certified municipal collector. So we did post the position, of course, internally, externally, through social media, the local newspaper, the Herald, and then GFOA, which is, Jonathan talked about that earlier, the Government Finance Officers Association. And we posted it for, since August 3rd through the 31st of August.
Okay, and how many applicants did you get?
We got 2 applicants.
I know that there was elected officials, we've increased their salaries, and can you tell the listeners what was the elected official, how much he was making, and how much in the new position will be?
I am not sure what she's currently making. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the new position is $96,000. And she was making less. She's making less than that.
I think you mentioned that, when you looked it up, it said 79. That's what we
79,
voted,
okay.
79. So that means that we're, for the same work, now we're paying $17,000 more, right? From the same work. Any explanation why we didn't get more, any thoughts why we didn't get more applicants? It's almost $100,000. It's a pretty good position. Why, any reason why we haven't received more candidates? Any thoughts?
Thoughts just for a candidate pool. The current tax collector has been here for 12 years. A lot of people know that as well. So, and really the economy right now, the position through the charter, when you voted on it, was they had to have residency within a year. And, right now, I think the market's really tight for housing. And it's difficult for someone right now to move a family into New Britain. We posted it at, everyone saw it. I got a lot of calls. People were interested, but they just didn't apply.
Mm-hmm. So resident means they can rent also. They don't have to live physically, buy a house, right?
Well, they have to reside in New Britain.
Reside, right. So they can rent, but
So
not
they
necessarily
have to rent and.
buy a house.
Yeah,
Okay.
to rent or buy.
I guess last question, have you done any review of the past performance, any assist, even though she was elected official, but once applying for, a regular position here, have you done any, has the city done any review of her performance?
Well, the candidate.
Prior, 12-year performance.
Well, the city does not do performance reviews on elected officials, and the candidate that's chosen hasn't gotten the job yet, so the civil service process is still going on. There's background screens, there's things that you do once you make a conditional offer to a candidate.
Ms. Carter, if I could just give Mr. Dorsey a second to reply as well.
Just going to say, Alderman, that just like all elected officials, with the exception of the town clerk, who's 4 years, and the registrars that are 4 years, their performance review is every 2 years by the voters.
Yeah, maybe, yes. I don't know how much the voters know what a tax collector or a revenue collector does, but anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you, Alderman Ayala.
Let me just make a statement. I just feel uncomfortable with the amount of people who applied, and seeing institution, being in university before, when we got small amount of people who apply for a job, we usually send it again. We advertise it again and hope for a more competitive, perhaps Cheryl Blaglovsky would have gotten it anyway, but I think our city deserves a more competitive a structure to get the best that we can. So I'm going to vote no on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Any further discussion on item number 10? Seeing none, all those in favor? Oh, I apologize, Alderwoman.
Thank you. So I just wanted to, I hope she's listening or watching the video. Cheryl has been great to me. I've had numerous of complaints from residents, just the way they were treated when they walk into City Hall, the people sitting in the front. I quickly send her an email. She's on it. She's very responsive. I think Cheryl's great. I think something so crucial as taxes is very important. And it can be tough, but I really support Cheryl. And if it does pass, congratulations, Cheryl.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Anyone else? Alderwoman Sanchez.
Just for the record, I'm going to vote no on this.
Thank you. All right. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of item number 10 signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Alderwoman Sanchez and Alderman Ayala, for the record, are noes. Motion carries. Item number 11 with Alderman Malinowski this evening.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item 11.
Seconded by Alderman Russell.
And this is for the New Britain Public Safety Telecommunications Center for an upgraded fiber optic system and the amount of $283,182. And I urge adoption.
Thank you. Any discussion on item number 11? Alderman Ayala.
Just a question whether this went to bidding or it was usually, this huge amount. And I didn't see any record here of bidding.
Mr. DeCajio is on his way up to the
Maybe I'm
podium to
wrong.
answer that question.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, Alderman Islam. No, this did not go to bidding. This is utilizing the state DAS contract. It's special pricing received for multiple municipalities. They utilize this contract all the time. This type of equipment is obviously a very specialized type of equipment that we need. The state contract guarantees that we're getting the best pricing possible for this equipment. So we don't need the reasoning to go out to bid for this type of stuff.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. DeCajio. Any other questions or discussion on the item? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Malinowski for the 12th item.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item 12.
Seconded by Alderman Pabon.
And this is for the city to enter an agreement with NG Resources LLC for a 4-year agreement, which is for a fixed rate for electricity. And the fixed rate is 0.10608 cents. And I urge adoption.
Thank you, sir. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor, Alderman Russell. Or, I apologize, the original second was Alderman Pabon. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Point of personal privilege to Alderman Island. Motion carries. Motion carries. Point of personal privilege to Alderman Island.
Thank you for everyone for coming here and using, and basically volunteering. And I appreciate all your work here in committees and behind the scenes. And I will miss you, believe it or not.
Thank you, Alderman Malinowski.
I just want to get up and say thank you to all the retiring aldermen. It's been a pleasure serving the last 2 years with you. And good luck to everybody running in the election for November 7th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alderman Malinowski. Alderman Canzero.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, nobody knows what's going to happen November 7th. Maybe I'll be lucky and won't be here, but it's always been an honor to serve. I've been doing this for a long time, a long, long time. I love it, but it's up to the voters. With the new charter, I think nobody knows what's going to happen as far as the council goes. But it's always been an honor to serve the city. I've been doing this for 50 years, between volunteering with civil defense and EMS, and started in politics in 1989. Yeah, so I'm like ancient. I remember when I was a new guy, now I'm the old guy. But it's a wonderful city, born and raised here, worked here, retired here. This has been home. I love the city, and and we make little changes. And I'm very proud of everybody I served with over the years, including the current council. It's nice to see some new faces and some new people, and we're doing good work. We might not always agree, and I've said this many, many times. We all want to get to the same location. We do. I want to go this way, you might want to go that way. But the end result is the same. It's for the benefit of our great city. So I wish everybody good luck. I wish all the aldermen and all the aldermen ladies that aren't going to be here, thank you for your service. And we'll see what happens in a couple weeks. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Chairman.
Alderman. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Alderman Rakowski.
I want to say a couple words. It's been, according to this plaque, since 2019. It seems like a short time, but for some of us who actually showed up to the meetings, every night to the planning and zoning and board of finance, everybody. It's been a very, say a lifelong experience to serve a city such as New Britain. Been here since '83. Hopefully I can stay for a lot longer. I'd like to thank my wife for putting up with long hours. But I am not coming back to serve or even running for another term. I'm going to spend some time at home. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Dyson.
Thank you. I just want to, as I'm leaving, thank Jessica, Marion, Corporation Counsel, the Mayor's Office, everybody I served with. It has truly been very rewarding. Thank you to those that voted for me and those that have extended their concerns and thoughts and questions outside of Ward 1. I really do appreciate that. But for me, it's Yogi Berra that said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. I'm taking it. So we'll see what the new brings. But thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Dyson. I do need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn made by Malinowski, seconded by Alderman Rakowski. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Yes, 9:55.